Yo, good morning everybody. Today I'm going to be shooting a YouTube video, so I just wanted to kind of show you what's in my camera bag for when I shoot these kind of things. So whether it's like small narrative films or any kind of YouTube videos, this is generally the kind of setup that I would use. First of all, these are my two bags that I use mainly. On the right we have the Sacthler Airflow bag. I originally purchased that for the C100 that I used to own. And this one is a more recent one from last year, and that's the ThinkTank International version 2.0. And I got that super cheap on eBay. So opening up the bags, I'll start with the more boring stuff over here. And the Sacthler, I will have my Godox light, which I use pretty much for everything because it's a great little key light. I've got my tripod, my trusty tripod. I've had this for years. Definitely need to get a new one now because it's pretty much, I mean this in the non-punniest way possible, it's pretty much on its last legs. And I've got handle to my tripod head, and then I have my tube light, which really has been very useful, and I'm going to get more tube lights because they've been quite useful in filmmaking actually, because they get in really small tight spaces to produce quite a bit of light, and they're just easier to carry around than big hefty panels. And now over to the more exciting bag. Okay, so over to the more exciting bag, the ThinkTank International. Let me start with the small pockets first. So generally in here, this top compartment, I'll keep a HDMI cable. In this one here, I've got an audio splitter and this tear stick. So basically, actors will put this underneath their eyes and it will help them to cry. This one's by Cryolan. Don't worry about all that dirt, that's actually just a label. Yeah, so the brand on this one is called Cryolan. Don't know if that's a pun on the name or whatnot, but it does work. Not like super efficiently, but it's a bit like putting Vicks Vapor Rub on yourself. In this pocket here, we have some wipes, we've got some Allen keys, I've got my SD card reader plugged into a USB-C adapter, and the most valuable tool out of everything I have actually is this Allen key. Next pocket. So this pocket here as well, so I've got my Tiffen variable ND, and that will have an adapter step-up ring on there already. And then I have and then I've got some other adapters just for the other lenses that I use. I've got an extra Fuji battery in there, and typically I'll store filters here. Just because it's easier for me to remember where they are. This is my aperture LED. It should turn on, but I think it's not got any charge, so I've got an adapter for that anyway. Got my handles here for my Fuji cage. One's by Nitze, the other one's small rig. I'm not a fan of this small rig handle, the way it attaches to the cage, because these things here, if you don't put them on like sort of similar at the same time, it sort of like warps a bit, and it's not the best, to be honest with you. This, however, is the best handle I think I have. It's the Stinger, I think. Nitze sent it to me. It's a really, really good handle. It's so versatile. You can use it as a side handle, top handle, whatever you want, really. Really nice little handle there. Okay, in this pocket we have the plug for the Nitze Ninja. I've been using that a lot because the Ninja does burn through batteries, and I'd rather not have to have batteries if I can help it. But here we have another battery. I use the Sony MPFs, so they'll go in there. And for my for my Fuji lenses, I've got a Viltrox 56mm 1.4, very nice, well worth the money, dirt cheap. Next up is my favorite lens of all time, the 35mm f1.4. This is probably overtaken the Canon 24mm 1.4, which was my favorite lens of all time, but this has overtaken that now. I'd say on APS-C anyway, at least. Here we have the 10-24, which I do like. I like to use it. It definitely gives you a lot of unique perspectives. I haven't used it as much as I thought I would, and to be honest with you, most of the time if I do use it, I end up shooting at 24. So I'm probably going to get like a 23mm lens next. I think that's next on my purchase list. I've been using the 24mm on that a lot. We'll go over to the more boring stuff and save the camera rig stuff for last. So you've already seen that. Oh, this is essential. So power bank with USB-C to USB-C. This helps me power my Fuji camera for hours. I have no issues with it. Well, sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like it's not actually charging the camera or whatever, but I'd say, like, because this is a 10,000 milliamp one, I'd probably get like 4 to 5 hours out of it on a full charge, which is pretty nice. And it's not a V-Lock, so I don't have to like carry around chunky batteries. I'd rather take like 4 or 5 of these than like one big V-Lock, because these are just so much lighter, easier to put on and stuff, you know. This is my Tiffen Black Pro Mist, and that's a 1/4 strength, and I really love this filter. I've been using it for years, and recently everyone's like jumped on the bandwagon on these Black Pro Mists, and now pretty much everyone uses them. So, but you know, it does produce a filmic look. It softens the highlights and makes everything bloomy, so that's nice. HDMI cable. Unfortunately, the Xt3 uses this crappy micro HDMI. Yeah, I've been through loads of those. This is actually the only one that stood the test of time so far. The other ones are kind of snapped very, very easily. Lens cloths, can't be without them. And we've got some lens wipes in there as well, by the way. And here I've got the Ninja V, and I've got a cage by Nitze, which mounts directly onto my rig, which I'll show you again. I really do like this monitor. I do think it's a little heavy. I would prefer something lighter. It is pretty useful. I use it for like my narrative short films a lot, just to give me that extra quality. And the cage allows me to clamp onto the HDMI so it doesn't get yanked out, which, you know, has happened a lot. This is my Fujifilm charger, which I use quite a bit, obviously, because I need to use the camera. I always have some sort of like USB plug in there, just in case I need to charge anything or someone needs to charge something. It's just nice to have, and you know, it's kind of useful. In this pocket here, I've got a USB light that charges. It's actually magnetic as well, so it can stick onto something. This is quite handy if you need to just have a little fill somewhere, you know. So yeah, that's a pretty nice little light. Got that free. I can't remember how much it was, but I'm pretty sure they're quite cheap. There's the tripod head that I need for the tripod. I actually need that, so I'm gonna leave that out. What else have we got here? We've got the blower. This is an essential tool for your kit. Get that dust off your lens, even your sensor. You should definitely, I think like the cheapest things are the stuff that you almost can't be without. So like this, the Allen key, lens wipes, lens cloth. You absolutely need those to make sure that like you're shooting as clean as possible, you know, and you're well prepared. All right, let's have a look here. Plugs for the panel, and we have a dimmer. Now this is something, I haven't used it as much, but it's certainly very useful on set. So if you have a lamp or something like that, you can plug this in and it will dim the lamp. So, but you have to be careful, some bulbs aren't dimmable and stuff, and so sometimes you might get flickering or whatever. Typically you might have someone like the DP or gaffer, whatever, will have some like bulbs that they own that they'll replace on set. So I typically don't really carry mini bowls with me, to be honest, if any. So yeah, I like the dimmer and I'll use it if necessary. Moving on to the more juicy stuff, we have the Rode VideoMic Pro. I don't like this microphone for one reason, and this is the old one. So this is the one where it doesn't turn off. You have to turn it off manually yourself. And just because you have to turn it off is the reason why I don't like it, because it's so difficult to remember to turn it on and off. And I know that sounds something that should be quite simple, but actually the amount of times I've forgotten exceeds the amount of batteries that I've put in. So yeah, I don't like that microphone for that reason. I want to get rid of it. I want to get one that kind of turns on and off with the camera. Here we have SD card pouch, nothing fancy. I just kind of I've used the cards already. They're in the camera already, so it's fine. Let's see, and here's the juicy part. This is the Fuji Xt3 on a small rig cage. Now Nitze did send me a cage package, but I didn't 100% get on with it as well as I would have liked. The cage was actually the only thing that I didn't like from Nitze. I loved everything else, but the cage just didn't quite work for me. So yeah, that was something. I won't bother explaining about it. It's a bit boring, but I've got a HDMI clamp by Small Rig. That's essential. I've got the Nitze Ninja monitor mount. Well, it's not a Ninja monitor mount. It's got like the ARRI locating pins. This is the best thing ever, because I wanted to replicate the Red experience, because I really love Red's form factor. I just wish the cameras were cheaper. And that allows me to like move the cameras pretty much the monitor in any direction. Over here, this is my power bank holder. So the reason why it's got an arrow there is so that you can stretch that out and stick the power bank on there, and that gives me hours of shooting. And on this side I'll attach the Nitze handle, and on this side I'll attach the Small Rig handle, and I can have a complete setup. And if I want to, I can take off this part here, because it's just Allen keys. Take it off, and then I'll mount it to the top of here. So it'll probably be like here or here somewhere. And so I've got a top handle with a monitor. I don't really need it now, so but I just thought you'd show you. And that's why I like this handle the best, because it's got the locating pins so it doesn't twist. You can actually change the location of the pins as well. So if you're mounting it on top, you would change those pins to the side so that they can go directly on to where there's like a ARRI locating pin on the Small Rig. Can't show you now because this is mounted on there, but that kind of gives you an idea. Oh, and also the kit lens. I actually used this kit lens for a show reel the other day, and it's so good. Like I just forgot about like how good it was and how much I used to use it all the time, because I kind of went to the 35 a lot, but honestly this just kind of gave me everything I needed there and then. The quality is top notch. It's probably, I know I say I like the 35, and the 35 is my favorite lens of all time, but this is my most used lens, I would say. I don't know, there's just something magical about this kit lens, you know, and you got to appreciate how much effort Fujifilm have put into making it a usable camera lens. Stabilization's good on it, 18 to 55. You can get some bokeh on it if you know what you're doing. Yeah, it's just a magnificent lens, you know. And yeah, and the Fuji Xt3 obviously is mounted on there, and I've got 2 SD cards on there today because I'm going to be shooting a video. I don't know how long it's going to be, and some photos as well. So okay, I actually forgot to show you one more bag. So I got a Lastalite scrim thing, you know, the frames with diffusion and stuff like that, but actually I've kind of used it now for umbrella, my octagon softbox diffuser thing, and 2 light stands. So that kind of like allows me to carry everything, and I don't need to have a dedicated light stand bag. which I probably will do eventually because the handles on this thing are like kind of wearing off and that, but I use that for now and it all kind of fits perfectly. It's all like long stuff goes in there, so that's all good. But yeah, that's pretty much the setup that I use for shooting most of my videos actually, whether it's at home or out and about. And it's quite a compact rig, and it works for me. It's very small, it's very compact. I know right now I have it split into 2 bags. Eventually I want to get a larger bag just to be able to fit everything in, and I'll probably go ThinkTank again because I know they've got those like video bag ones, so I want to be able to put my lights in there and stuff, just because I want to take the weight off my back, because I don't have a very good back, so I need to keep the weight off of that, and that's why that bag is pretty light, to be honest. Both of the bags come with rain covers as well. That's how I shoot most of my videos, and that's what's in my camera bag and stuff that I actually use. I don't know if the other YouTubers, when I see like, oh, what's in my camera bag, they show like a whole bunch of cool stuff and everything like that, but I never quite understood how they made videos with it, like if you're shooting with lighting and stuff like that, because it didn't make sense to me. Like I've got 3 lights, I've got 4 lights here, you know, and I have to put it into 2 bags, and when people say like, oh, what's in my camera bag, and they only got 1 bag, if you're a photographer, I could maybe understand, but like when you're doing video, surely you like need a little bit more. But hopefully you've enjoyed this insight. Sorry about the iPhone footage. I don't know if you'll notice the quality difference that much. I think it'd be possible, but yeah, it allows me to move as much as I can lightly without much weight on my back. I used to fit all that stuff in that bag, and like after the day, my back would be absolutely killing. So to be able to have it in a roller, which is what I recommend, really kind of like saves yourself for future shoots, because while you're young and stuff, you might be like, yeah, this is nothing, but as you start to get a bit older, the weight and everything starts to wear down on you, and you'll find like a lot of photographers will say that's why they want to, you know, minimize their kit, because you know the weight and stuff starts to creep up on you, and that's why I carry around a small tripod rather than a big one, because I just don't like carrying around heavy stuff, and if it works, it works. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, all that for jazz. What do you think about my setup? What kind of setup do you have? I am looking into a one-man band sort of thing, so I'm trying to look for a sling at the moment that will just go like across, like a little fanny pack kind of thing. I want one that's like I can fit my Fujifilm with the 35 and maybe the kit lens, and maybe like have a new portable tripod. I need to look into that, and maybe like an LED, like the tube light or something. So 1 LED tube light, 1 little tripod, and then the sling bag, and that would be my like minimal shooting thing. Anyways, I'm Alps Live, and always, peace out.